Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Conquerors Crew. And I have a very experienced, super cool, awesome guest with us today. Got so much experience, 20 years worth, written a book, done speaking, all sorts of stuff. And I cannot wait to get into this. But before we do, it's Humpty Hump Day, and that's Wednesday, and I just like to remind some of our normal listeners what our three pillars are, and if you're new, well, then they'll be new to you. And so the first one is it's hope, and that stands for helping other people excel, right? And man, if you don't have hope, you don't have nothing, right? And I just kind of know with having a cancer journey and a 2-year deal with kind of being like on cancer death row, if you will, that man, if I could just muster enough courage and just enough hope just to share something with somebody, even if they just gave me a call and I could just give them a little bit of encouragement of something, that it seemed like it came back to me even faster or better. Now, I don't know why that is. I didn't make the rule. I just know that that's kind of how it is. I think that Dr. Jan would probably agree with me on that. And then the next one is grit, okay? And the G stands for grace. And hey, we love to, we need to give grace to people that make a mistake. But I'm talking about, hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself a bit of grace, man. Like that's the reminder on the G. The R is for resilience. And people say, "Oh, Trent, I could never do what you did. You beat cancer 3 times." Well, you know what? You don't try to run an Ironman the first time you train, do you? We all have some inherent skills and some things that we all have within inside of us, but you have to train those. You have to develop those, and it's just like anything else. So you would not run an Ironman the first time you go out to do some training, right? So that's kind of how it is. The I is for integrity. Okay, and I'm not talking about the kind of integrity where you're like, hey, you over there, you're breaking the rules. The integrity I'm talking about is the integrity with yourself. 3 o'clock in the morning, you can't go to sleep, you got something on your mind, and you look yourself in the mirror. Are you being honest with yourself? And that's how I had to be with my cancer on the 3rd time around, right? And so, that's what we like about integrity. And then the last one is for T, and that's for teachable. And I feel like it just like you always can learn something in every single situation. There's something that can be taught, even though maybe you don't want to. Okay, and then the last one, hope, grit, and no quit, and that needs no definition because either you quit or you don't, and that's it. So, hey, thank you for listening to my intro there, Dr. Jan. Welcome to the show. Great to have you. How are you today? Tell me how your week's going.
I am doing great, Trent, and I just wanted to say to you, all 3 of those I can recognize because my husband is a 2.5 cancer survivor.
Oh, 2.5. Okay, interesting. Oh, he's got a half in there, huh?
Half is when they saw some cells, but before anything really happened, they zapped those out. But when I listened to what you were saying, I thought, yes, all of that.
Awesome. So, God, there's so many things that you have. I'm just kind of not sure where to start, but you know what? I think, I'm from the South, and tell us where you are originally from, kind of where you grew up, how many, brothers and sisters, and bring us up to just a quick, couple of little few minutes about from where you are to where you are today.
Well, Trent, you said that you were Southerner. I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Love it. Lived there 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And my parents brought me to Chicago.
Okay.
I was 2 years old. And so I've been living in Chicago and right outside of Chicago, for my years that I've been on this earth.
Wow.
I have one son who's in his 50s, and he won't like what I'm going to say, but I wish he would find a wife.
Sounds like you want some grandbabies. Goodness gracious! Hey, you know what? The best my parents have gotten is granddogs, and that, you know.
No, I would like a grandchild.
I hear you.
Or I'm so old that I won't even know what a grandchild is. And, I grew up with 4 brothers.
Wow.
There are 2 now who are deceased.
Okay.
I am the only girl.
Yes.
The only girl. And I went to high school, to college, got a bachelor's, got a master's, and then was talked into getting a doctorate, which I'm very happy about. And I'm going to say something that's going to shock your audience.
Cool.
December 5th, this coming December 5th, I will be 85 years old.
Come on. God, you look wonderful. You do. You look wonderful. That's great. I'm so that's so cool. Now, let me ask you: growing up with 4 brothers, 5 brothers, tell me about that. Now, where are you in the mix of all that?
I'm the second one. I have an older brother. Then it's me, and then 2 brothers. No, 3 brothers up under me. So
Goodness.
Yeah.
Now were they protective of you and like, you know, you can't date my sister and all that? they were like, Jan, she's on her own. She just does her thing. I don't mess with her because she's a cat, you know?
And that's the very truth. I was protective of them.
Oh.
Because I was the girl, you know? So,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You were like, you ain't dating my brother unless you straighten out the way you're acting, girl. That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, obviously you got all your education in the Chicago area. Would that be correct?
Actually, no. I received my doctorate in Mexico, in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's almost kind of Cuba though, but it depends, you know. I mean, I've been to Miami, and my goodness, if you don't speak Spanish down there, it's kind of tough. Yeah. Yeah, very true. So that's kind of the only place that you really, but the most of the time you've been in Chicago, and you raised in Chicago, and you just find yourself always kind of going back to Chicago. Yeah.
Yes, I love Chicago. It's a beautiful city. It's beautiful.
Awesome.
And they call it the Windy City.
Yes.
But no, that's because of the politicians.
Oh. Okay. All right, I got you on that one. You know what? If I can, I never try to fly through O'Hare because it seems like every time I do, I get delayed. My God, it makes me so angry. And I used to fly twice a week, every week for 5 or 6 years. I did that kind of a career, and I'm just like, oh no, not flying in and out of Dallas. That was okay. You were just always delayed. You know, it's just like never on time. I mean, like, my God, there was no weather, but we never could be on time. I don't know. Anyways.
Unfortunately, I do understand. It happens to me, yeah.
Fair enough. So, now tell me a little bit about your career. Now, have you worked in the corporate world? Have you done some of that kind of stuff? Or, because I know that you've done 20 years worth of speaking and that you help, you know, women and ladies. You've written articles and books. So just tell us a little bit about kind of you and your career, if you don't mind.
Well, I really started out as a teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I taught in the Chicago public schools. I taught special education.
Wow.
That was children with learning disabilities, children that had behavior issues. And I taught in the elementary schools and the high schools.
Wow.
Yeah. And so one day I felt that I was becoming special myself.
Fair enough.
Behavior issues. And I thought, well, maybe I need to come out of the classroom. And I became an administrator
Okay.
where I got that bug of public speaking.
Okay.
I was in a position where I had to go and talk with teachers and administrators on how to, it was a mandate, and people don't like mandates, but I had to go into the schools and train teachers and administrators on how to improve reading comprehension. So I got that.
Okay.
When I retired after 30 years, I worked for the state of Illinois doing presentations.
Okay.
And so one day, one of the administrators asked me, was this something that I did on my own? And I said, no. She said, well, you're really, really good at it. And so once I retired, I just started doing educational presentations. Um, uh, the first place I went to, I did an education presentation in Hawaii.
What?
Well, if I could do that here, I could do that anywhere.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And so then I morphed into relationship, just speaking about relationships.
Okay.
And so from there, I now do presentations on relationships and communications in your personal and professional lives, and definitely in the adult daughter aging mother relationship.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Because you have an article that you sent me that I find very interesting. You know, I have moved into I know the show's not about me, but just to give a little background, I did IT for about 10 years, and then I lived in New Zealand for 17 years, and for about 13 or 14, I owned my own kettle corn manufacturing business. Yeah, crazy. I know, so wild, so nuts, and so then, I got the cancer back in 2019, 20, and 21. So boom, 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 1, 2, 3. And then, the recovery was, 2 or 3 years, and I had to come back to the States and all that. I had to sell the business. And what am I going to do with myself, right? I kind of, after everything that I wasn't supposed to make it because, I had pancreatic cancer was the final one. Yeah. So I whipped that one, and I was like, what am I gonna do? I mean, I'm kind of like, well, I'm still here. I sold my business. I'm lost. I'm lost. And so I kind of fell into, kind of like maybe you did a little bit, of being a cancer coach and a patient advocate. And so that's kind of what I do. And caretaking is a big part of being a patient advocate. My gosh, So, we can talk about anything. I mean, all this stuff is super good. It's super valuable and awesome. But, let's talk about this article for a few minutes, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And you gave us 10 tips, okay? And so could you just list all 10 of those, like 1 through 10, for us real quick? And I'm just messing with you. I'm not gonna ask you. I mean, like, that's ridiculous, right? But can you give us a couple of them, like that you really key in on, and you're like, hey, you know what? If you are dealing with a parent that is getting older, that doesn't want the care, right? That's what I focused in on. Give us a few tips about that, if you don't mind.
Well, what you have to remember, I'm going to go back to my mom. I think
Okay.
that would be the better way.
Sure.
Very independent woman. Outgoing, love to socialize. But I could see, as time was going on, that what I would say dementia is setting in.
Okay.
Now, some of the things that would happen. I would go visit her, and I'd look in the closet. We were going, maybe we were going shopping. I'd look in the closet, and I would see bananas in the closet. I would see all kinds of things in the closet. And I would ask her, why are these in the closet? Well, she had a cleaning lady, and she was saying how the cleaning lady was stealing her food. And I thought, so she was putting it in the closet. And I thought, that doesn't really sound so. In other words, first of all, you have to really start recognizing the signs.
Okay, yes.
No matter what was going on, she was just more and more independent and more defensive about things that were happening to her.
Okay.
Her decision making.
Okay.
Once I realized that she's going into dementia, she's going into Alzheimer's, that means that now I have to be more focused on her care. The more focused I became on her care, the more defensive that she became.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, what's hard is you have to learn to separate what I would say the disease from the person.
Okay. Yep.
So we went through this kind of thing where now people are stealing from her. People are taking advantage of her. She's forgetting to take her medicine. She's forgetting people's names, even though, we all forget people's names.
Right. Yeah, but yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
But the first thing to do is to recognize that this is going to happen. Now, let's go all the way into when it came to the point where I was her caregiver.
Can I ask you before you go into that? Did you realize that, like the cleaning lady is not stealing the food? You knew that was it. The first time or two, you're kind of like, okay, and then after a couple times, you begin to kind of go, okay, this isn't adding up, and I think we might have dementia or some Alzheimer's or something going on there. Is that kind of how it began?
Yeah, at first I kind of like poo-pooed it, but more and more things were happening. And so the funny thing is I would take her to the doctor, and I told the doctor, I really think that she's going into dementia or Alzheimer's now.
Okay.
When he would ask her different questions, this is something, they're very smart, and manipulative. She would answer his questions just so fluently and he would tell me, I don't see any signs.
Oh, she could fool for an hour.
Okay.
Sure, right. Yep, I'm with you.
And that's something I want to tell people who are dealing with a parent who's going through this. There are certain times, if they feel that someone is questioning them about what they know is happening with them, they're going to use whatever they have, all the powers that they have, to come across as nothing is wrong.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yep.
Now, caregiving takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of forgiveness on that person's part and even on your part.
Yep.
Caregiving is something that you need help with. If you are a caregiver of a mom, a dad who is older, I would suggest that you find an organization, a support group to help you so that you can see what is going to transpire as things get worse and worse.
Right. Yeah.
How you have to take control, even though they don't want you to take control, but you have to use psychology.
Right. 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 And it's even, like I worked with a lady that was a nurse practitioner, and her specialty was in dementia and Alzheimer's, and a lot of it is you just go along with it. You just play. I mean, like, do you want to have a fight? Right. You just want to go along with it. You know it's not true. But hey, do you want to leave the day in the day with everybody being mad, or do you just want to play Disney World a little bit? And it's not the best, but it's better than leaving everybody angry, right?
That's very true, but it's hard to do. So,
Agreed.
give you an example. My mom and I went shopping, and she bought a coat, and I bought a coat. Well, that next year, that next winter, when I said, "Oh, are you going to wear, this coat that you bought last year?" She swore up and down that that was not her coat. And even though a friend of hers tried to convince her that that was her coat, no, that's not my coat. She made, and she said, at first I got angry, but then I thought she told me to get the coat out of her house. And I thought, I bought you this coat. At
Right.
first, I was angry, but after a while, like you said, I'm not going to fight. I just took the coat, took it out of the house. Now, so I decided I was going to wear the coat. Then she said I stole her coat. So
You
what did
can't win. You can't win.
I just stopped wearing. I didn't wear it anymore.
Right. Well,
I
around her.
I wouldn't address it. She would address it to her friend, but her
Right.
friend knew better. And her
Right.
friend said, "Well, you know, uh, she's got the coat. Don't worry about it." So, in other words, you end up, even though it's hard for you, it's stressful, you end up having to go with the flow as long as it's not detrimental to them.
Right. As long as it's not harmful, violent. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of the game, isn't it?
Right. You
And
know,
it hurts so much as you being the caregiver. It's such a thankless job. I think it's one of the most thankless jobs on the planet, that you have this loved one, and they kind of forget who you are. They're
oh,
mean to you. They're rude to you. They say things to you, and you are trying to do everything you can. And I think it's really hard for the caregiver to deal with. I'm doing all these things for you that I shouldn't normally do, that I'm going the extra mile, and you're hating on me. Like, it's super hard for people. I've been in this situation a few times with some friends that have asked me to help with their cancer situation, and it hasn't gone well. And so I kind of know what you mean. And I've had some relatives that have had dementia and some things, and so I've been a step away and watched my parents deal with that. It's really hard for them because they're directly, and I can kind of see. But God, when you're in it, oh, it's ruthless, isn't it?
it is. But the thing is, when you're in a support group, they can tell you about how to handle certain situations. And also you have to remember that they know themselves that something is wrong. and they strike out at the person that's closest to them. It's the anger. They are angry with themselves.
Right.
And so what do? They strike out at that person that cares for them because they resent the fact that they have to have you as a caregiver. They resent that fact. And
Yep.
so they take it out on you. It's hard.
So that's such a good point. That's such a good point, Dr. Jan. It really is. So yeah.
So yeah, it's hard and the stress on you. That's why you need family. If you have family that support you, or someone who you can talk to so that and so you can tell them what is happening. And if it's someone who is familiar with this, they can tell you it's not you. It's not you. But what you need to do is care for yourself.
Oh, so important.
I have a podcast and I had a person on the show that talked about caregiving for the caregivers.
Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because you have to take care of you and not go through that guilt feeling of I've got to get away for a few hours or whatever. You know, so you got to take care of you in order to take care of them.
And if you can't take care of you, then you can't do a good enough job of taking care of them. And it's okay if you need somebody to come in and give you a half a day.
Yes.
And go do you go to the salon, or go get a massage, or go play golf, or go do something with your friends, or hey, you know what, like, I'm not condoning this, but hey, go have some drinks with your friends, or so get out and go do you. Because if you're doing that every day, you're going to be in that grind, and you know what, we all get it. The caregiver is going to get in resentment, and then you got resentment with resentment, and it's not good, is it?
And what I have seen, which is why I am an adult daughter aging mother coach, is that it seems to be magnified to mothers and daughters.
Oh, okay. Now, do you think the same thing with sons and dads, or it's mother? Yep.
I think it's a little different.
Okay.
I think it's different.
Sure.
A mother and a daughter, I think that mom knows the triggers, and she knows how to with that daughter. Because I'm not that familiar with sons and fathers, and
Right.
but I think with mothers and daughters, sometimes it can be just on a little lower level of I'll say digs.
I'm with you on that. Because guys kind of like, you know what, we can have a fist fight, and then we say, you know what, I respect you, and you respect me, and we can be friends, let's go have a beer. And then we're done. It's squashed. But women, they hold grudges longer. They do. They're different creatures. I'm not saying one's better than the other, because I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that at all. But it's just different, isn't it? And hey, it takes two to make the world go round. And yeah. I'm with you on that. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I remember one day, my mother was just, she was just angry about everything. And I was there helping her clean up her apartment. And she was telling me, how I never could really clean well. I never did take care of my apartment well, which I knew I did. But I knew she was angry because this is something that she could do by herself, used to could do.
Right.
When I got ready to leave, I said, I love you, Mom. You don't have to love me. And I said, I said, well, I love you anyway. And
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, and so it at first it was hurtful, but then I had to
Yeah.
think, wait a minute, Jan, you know she loves you. You know,
Yeah.
you know, but this is what's taking over. It's hard for caregivers really to separate at times the disease from that person.
I totally agree.
If you are the closest to them, they're going to attack you in a sense because who else can they vent to their frustrations with? You. And that's
All right.
I think that's the really stressful part of it is
Yeah.
to remove try to remove your emotions.
Yep. 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 Um, a couple of the things that I see here are like use collaborative language. What would you mean by that? I mean, most people could read these and say, okay, well, I can say listen and acknowledge. Okay, yeah, I got that one. But tell us about collaborative language, please.
Well, you know what it means to collaborate with someone. Help them to make their decision making. I'll say that. Be collaborative
Right.
with the decision making. Use psychology. So now, I like to go back to my mom.
Okay.
Prescription. Okay, mom. Did you get your prescription from the doctor? Yes. Okay. So now, even though it says on the bottle how you take them, so how
Right.
do you should take these? Well, only once a day. Oh, wow. Well, how, you know, do you think maybe twice a day? No, once a day is enough for me. Oh, okay. You know, I'll use the name Sarah. She takes the same medication and she takes hers 2 a day. And see how she is? Oh, yeah. Well, she has so much energy. Well, you know, but I think you like that kind of energy? I don't have that anymore. Well, maybe you should talk with Sarah. I don't need to talk to Sarah. I'm just going to go ahead and take what she takes. Okay.
Gotcha.
In other words,
Gotcha.
I'm letting her make the decision.
Yep. You're leading her to yes.
Yeah,
It sounds to me like what you're doing is you're coaching.
I guess so.
Yeah, because that's what coaching really is. Coaching is you ask the right questions to lead the client or your patient, if you will, whatever, to the answer. So you're not telling them what to do; they
Oh my God.
arrive, right?
You cannot tell them what to do. And even though, the way I said it, was just like, okay, just boom, boom, boom. But it might have taken hours. We might have had to eat, and then maybe I had to bring it up again, and in another kind of way. And I know sometimes I would leave her apartment, and I go, "Whoo,
So this could take a couple of weeks, kind of thing, right?
it could." So
Right. Yeah.
remember, it's it's not about you; it's about them.
Yeah.
And it's about making sure that they can have the best quality of life that they can have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not easy. That's why they say sometimes caregivers leave before the person that they're caregiving.
Gosh, and I've met several people that their partner, their wife, whatever, they've left. Like they got cancer or some, and they just were like, I can't do it. I'm out. And you know what? I've dated a few girls, after I was cleared and everything, and a couple of months and things were kind of going, and they're like, you know what, long term, I can't, I'm not going to be able to do this. And Hey, it is what it is, right? And it's really tough. It's really tough when like for me, it's different, right? You've dated somebody a couple months and they're just like, I can't do this. Okay, fine. But if you've been with someone and you're married and you're with them and they're like, hey, you know what? I can't deal with this. And then they leave and then you're dealing with this terminal illness. That's really tough.
I can't imagine that. Like I said, my husband is a two-time cancer survivor, which means, of course, I was a caregiver,
Right.
and it was difficult,
Yep.
me, but I had to remember what he was going through. And so what I was going through, my psychological stuff and my stress, that's nothing compared to
Right.
what he's going through.
Yeah.
And so it's that commitment, but some people just cannot do it. I have a friend, and I know she doesn't watch this, so she doesn't watch YouTube or anything, but,
Okay.
she's not, you know, into social media.
Yeah.
But her husband has PTSD, and
Okay.
now he's going through dementia. He doesn't, and so the first thing is his memory, and he can't remember from 1 minute to the next. And when he takes things, like he'll take his medicine, which now she keeps the medicine because he would put it somewhere and they couldn't find it. And so this is what he does. He takes things in the house, he puts them somewhere where you can't find them. And then he blames someone else on the fact that they can't find the things, you know. And just it's she calls me sometimes and I can tell she's like up to here because she's like this. And so what I told her is, and they've been married 45 years.
Wow.
So what I told her, you need to get into a support group because
Right.
you need to know what's coming. You need to know that at some point in time, he might have to leave your home because he's done some dangerous things.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so there are so many facets of being a caregiver. But what I've done with her, sometimes I just say, come on, let's go. We go shopping. I took her on a day trip just for her to get away.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that's when I say, as a caregiver, you really have to think about you.
Yep.
You. And so recently, she wanted to go on a trip with her daughter, but she says, I'm afraid to leave him at home because now he's not going to injure himself or anything, but she feels like he might take the car, drive somewhere, don't remember, But what I told her was, you have to think about you. And maybe you can't go on a trip to Europe, but you can go on a weekend trip and have someone to come in or check on him or whatever, because you have to get away.
Right. Yep.
Because you have to have some strength mentally and physically and spiritually to come back and deal with what you have. So it's very important for anyone out there who is a caregiver. Don't have that guilt feeling when you feel like, I've got to get out of here or I've got to get away.
Yep. 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 God, that's such good advice. Wow, it's so good. Is there any other advice that you would give as a caregiver? And then I'd like to ask you about a couple of other things that you do besides that. If you have any other advice, kind of caregiver related.
You are not alone.
Okay.
Reach out. Reach out for support. To me, that's the one advice I can give.
Yep.
out for support. Often you just cannot handle this alone. Reach out for support. Find a support group.
Tell us how people would find a support group.
I Google everything.
Fair. Hey, if it's that easy, do you just Google like support group in Chicago
Yeah.
for Alzheimer's?
Yes. Alzheimer's support group, dementia support groups. Um, different hospitals have support groups.
Yep.
Wherever communities have support groups.
Yep. Yep.
Reach
Yep.
out, because there are people out there who either are going through what you're going through, have been through it, and some of are experts to tell you how to handle situations. But what happens is when you're in a support group, you thought that you were alone, and that what was happening with you was totally different from anything that's happened to anyone else. And then you find out that, wait a minute, that same thing is happening in your household, or that same thing is happening with your parent, So how do you handle it?
Right. Yep. Yep. And I like the support group idea because, like in a support group, there are people that are kind of in the same place you are, and there's people that are kind of have been where you are, and there are people that are already where you're going to be going. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I think that's good. I think that's good to have the whole breadth of it, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did not have family members to support me.
Right.
Because I would hear, I don't see that. And so I knew I couldn't reach out to family members. So I had to reach out to support.
Right. Yeah. I got you. So let me ask you. Now you have a very interesting title to the title of your book. And now can you? I'm gonna let you drop the bomb and tell us what is the title of.
I have it right here.
The secrets to know how to not throw mama from the train, right?
How not to throw mama from the
To not. That's not, guys. As in N-O-T. Do not.
do not. How not to throw mama from the train.
Right.
It's all about my journey with my mom as we got older.
Yep.
And started boom, 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 bumping heads.
Right.
And just things I had to learn how to communicate with her.
Yeah.
And that's how I became a communications coach, because I understand why if I say green, you say blue. What's going on? And she said to me, it's the way you look at me when you're speaking. It's your body language. It's your voice. It's the words you use. And I had to really think about that. What is she talking about? But it's funny how things work. I was in a meeting with Chicago Public Schools, and we had to come up with, something, a program. And I said what I thought was brilliant. And it was just like around the table, oh, okay, that's really good. Yeah, okay. But then later on, someone said, had the same idea, said it differently, and they said, oh, yes, this is great. And I thought, wait a minute, I just said that.
Right.
I talked to a colleague, and she said the same thing my mother said.
Got you. And then it sounds like it clicked.
It clicked. And so I had to start communicating. I had to watch the way I communicated with my mom.
Gotcha.
And also I asked when I go to a daughter, adult daughters, I asked them, "Do you really know who your mother is?" Not from a little girl, the girl daughter point of view, but do
Right.
you really know who she is? Because if you can find out who she is, then you will understand a lot of things about her. Why she says certain things, why she
Mm,
a certain way, why she brought you up a certain way, how she relates to you a certain way. You'll find all of that out, and you'll find out it's not about you, it's about her.
yep. Yep. And have you ever heard of DISC? DISC. It's a communication type of thing. It's very similar to like Myers Briggs, but it's
Yeah,
kind of a lighter version of that.
yeah,
And I took that a long time ago and took the courses, and you kind of, people are usually a combination of a D and an S or whatever it would be. But the number one thing that I learned was communication is not bringing someone to your level. It is finding their level and communicating them to wait with them on that level. That's what a good communicator does. And that is really what I think that we've been talking about this whole time, is that you are finding the right way to communicate. And you know what? They don't know. They you can't blame them, right?
no,
Right. You
no,
can't blame them. There's things going on, and they're frustrated and they're uptight and they're angry, and they don't know. They just know that it's not right, and you see it. And so if you see it and you have the knowledge, then it's your responsibility to get to that communication level wherever that may be, and
yeah,
do that, right? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Something my husband told me when his mom was going through Alzheimer's. She woke him up in the middle of the night and said that he had stolen $25 from her. Well, instead of him, like I didn't steal, he said, when I got up the next day, I gave her $25.
Right. Right.
Here's
Yeah.
your $25. What?
Right. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to fight.
No,
You
no,
just don't. You just don't.
no.
Um, so I mean, now do you go and do you speak in person all around the country, and do you do stuff like that?
Oh, yes, all around the world.
Oh, okay, awesome. So cool.
Yes,
That's so cool.
yes. I've spoken in Europe and also in the Caribbean. As I said earlier, I've spoken in Hawaii. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I speak throughout the country. Most of the time, I speak on communications and relationships,
Okay.
personal, professional, whichever organization, what they're looking for. I've
Sure.
also spoken on aging gracefully. As a matter of fact, in 2022, I was crowned Miss Senior Illinois America
Awesome. That is so awesome.
in New York. And,
Wow.
and I talked about aging gracefully, and that's communicating with yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, you know, we're kind of starting to wind down, with the hour and everything. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience that you haven't, that you'd like them to know, that you want to say, hey, my book is on Amazon, or this is my website, any of that stuff, right? Yep. The secrets to
Not
to know not how to
not
throw.
The secrets to how not to throw mama from the train
Right.
is on Amazon in the Kindle version. I have to
Oh,
do
cool.
another printing. I sold out, so I have to do another printing for the hardback. Also, I have a TV show, uh,
Cool.
or podcast, as some people call it, and
Yeah.
it is called Relationship Matters TV.
Okay.
Live stream every Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Awesome. Okay. Okay.
On YouTube.
Yeah. So relationships with an
No,
S.
no, not an S.
Oh,
Relationship.
okay,
Matters
okay, okay,
TV.
okay, okay.
Relationship matters TV.
The S is on the matters. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You
Gotcha.
can find I'm on YouTube with Dr. Janice Fortman or Dr. Janice Fortman. You can see all of my episodes.
Oh, well, awesome. Now, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they wanted to try to contact you or to talk with you or anything?
The easiest way is my email,
Okay.
and the number 4, NOW125 @gmail.com. That's Jan for now 125 @gmail.com. You notice I spelled it out because I'm a teacher, right?
That's awesome.
The
That's
number
all.
4, NOW125 @gmail.com.
I love it. Now I'll have all that kind of stuff in the notes. Okay, and it'll be in the description and all that stuff when you guys see the stuff, and if you watch it later, or if you're watching it live and you want to look in the description, we'll update all that stuff for you and everything. Gosh, anything else? If not, I'm gonna take us out. Yeah.
Trent, I just want to thank you so much. I have enjoyed this immensely, and it's a real blessing that you are a 3-time cancer survivor.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's just wonderful. That's just
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Well, guys, this is Dr. Jan Fortman. Okay, she's got the YouTube channel. She's got the book on Amazon. She's got her TV show. Okay, we'll have all that stuff in the notes and everything. If you want to get in touch with Dr. Jan, I always tell you, she can't read your mind. You have to reach out. You have to get in touch with her, and I know that she will meet you on the level that you're at, okay? So if you just have a one-liner, I just need to talk to you. Can we just do it. Just do it. You got to just grab your kahunas and you just got to do that one time, and then things will go, because we can't read your mind. That's what I always tell people. It's like, if you feel the need, do it. You got to do it. And then we'll meet you wherever you are, right? Because that's what coaches do. So thank you so much for having you on the show. And guys, I just want to take us out with this. God bless. Godspeed to you this week. And never forget that grit don't quit. We are out.